The birth of a world city. This is the story of a light that burned for over 1,500 years, a technological marvel built by a man who sought to conquer the entire known world. It is the story of Pharos, the legendary Lighthouse of Alexandria. Our tale begins not in Egypt, but in the heart of the Hellenistic age, following the conquests of Alexander the Great. In 331 BCE, Alexander claimed a small stretch of land on the coast of Egypt, between the Mediterranean Sea and Lake Mareotis. He envisioned a city that would be the epicenter of culture, trade, and knowledge, Alexandria. After Alexander's untimely death, his empire was carved up by his generals. Egypt fell to Ptolemy Soter, who established the Ptolemaic dynasty. Ptolemy's city quickly became the most important port in the world, the nexus point for trade routes from the Mediterranean, the Indian Ocean, and the Silk Road. Ships carrying everything from Indian spices to Greek marble choked the harbor, but the city's location presented a critical danger: a shallow, deceptive coastline and the treacherous limestone reefs that lurked just beneath the waves. The thriving capital was a death trap for the very ships that fueled its wealth. Ptolemy recognized the need for a solution as massive and ambitious as his empire. He ordered the construction of a landmark that would be visible for days at sea, a symbol of Alexandria's dominance and a practical navigational tool, the greatest lighthouse ever built. The wonder of the world, the location chosen was the island of Pharos, which gave the structure its name. Construction began around 280 BCE, under the reign of Ptolemy II Philadelphus. The architect was Sostratus of Cnidus, a man whose ambition nearly rivaled the pharaohs. Pharos was not just a light, it was an unprecedented feat of engineering. Towering nearly 400 feet, taller than any building of its time save the Great Pyramid, it was the world's first skyscraper. It was constructed not with simple stones, but with massive, intricately interlocked blocks of bright white marble, carefully fitted to withstand the ceaseless hammering of the sea. It quickly earned its place as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The structure itself was divided into 3 distinct stages, reflecting the ingenuity of its design. First, a massive square base designed to absorb the power of the waves. It was said to house the garrison, workers, and a massive water system. Second, an octagonal middle section spiraling upwards. And finally, a cylindrical top, which was crowned by the lantern house and a massive bronze statue of Poseidon. But the true genius lay in the light itself. It was produced by a massive, continuously burning furnace fueled by wood and possibly oil. The fire's light was then captured and magnified, not by glass, which was too imperfect, but by a series of highly polished bronze mirrors. This sophisticated system could reportedly project the light 25 to 30 miles out to sea, guiding sailors safely home. Some chroniclers even claimed the mirror was so powerful it could be used as a weapon, focusing the sun's rays to burn enemy ships before they ever reached the harbor. While likely an embellishment, it speaks to the awe the structure inspired. A beacon of commerce and conquest, for over a millennium, the Pharos stood as the world's most recognizable landmark. It served its primary purpose flawlessly, facilitating the unparalleled flow of trade that made Alexandria the global powerhouse of the Hellenistic and Roman eras. The lighthouse served as a political statement. It demonstrated the scientific and engineering prowess of the Greeks who ruled Egypt, rivaling the sheer scale of the pharaoh's pyramids. Scholars traveled from all corners of the world to study the principles behind its construction. It was an enduring connection to the great library of Alexandria, a symbol of enlightenment standing against the chaos of the sea. In the 4th century CE, as the Roman Empire transitioned to the Byzantine era, the lighthouse remained a crucial part of the city's defenses and economy, witnessing the decline of the pagan world and the rise of Christianity. When the Arab armies arrived in the 7th century and conquered Egypt, they did not destroy the Pharos. They were astonished by it. The Arab geographer al-Mas'udi described its mirror-polished surfaces and marveled at its function, proving the structure's importance transcended religious and political change. The earthly end of the ethereal light. The ultimate fate of the lighthouse was not a dramatic siege or a devastating fire, but a long, slow campaign fought by the earth itself. The first major damage occurred in the 8th century, likely from an earthquake, which claimed the massive bronze statue at the apex and damaged the upper structure. The bronze mirror, that key piece of high-tech equipment, was either removed or lost around this time, ending the lighthouse's function as a high-powered, long-range navigational tool. It was reduced, essentially, to a conventional watchtower and mosque. The final, catastrophic blows came centuries later. In the year 956 CE, a powerful earthquake struck Alexandria, severely damaging the remaining structure. A later, more destructive tremor in 1303 CE left the Pharos a crumbling ruin. Travelers who visited the site in the 14th century described a wreck, an enormous square base with a damaged stump rising from the center. The final chapter was written in 1480 CE. The Mamluk Sultan of Egypt, Qaitbay, observing the wreckage and fearing a naval attack, decided to use the foundation of the once proud lighthouse to build a massive fort to defend the harbor. The last stones of the Pharos of Alexandria were stripped away and integrated into the walls of the citadel of Qaitbay, ending the life of one of the longest surviving wonders of the ancient world. The legacy in the deep. Today, the Pharos exists only in the astonished accounts of ancient travelers and in the name it gave to all similar structures. The word for lighthouse in many Latin-derived languages like Spanish, Pharo, and French, fer, is still derived directly from Pharos. But the story did not end on land. In the 1990s, marine archaeologists exploring the seabed of Alexandria's Eastern Harbour began to unearth massive, man-made stone blocks. These blocks, too large for normal ships and inscribed with ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, could only have come from one place. Divers found colossal statues, sphinxes, and immense granite columns all fallen to the sea floor from the shattered tower. The remains of the lighthouse, preserved in the murky depths, confirmed the astonishing scale described by ancient historians. The Pharos of Alexandria was more than a navigational aid. It was the ultimate fusion of science, architecture, and imperial ambition. It stood as a literal beacon of the Hellenistic mind, a testament to what a culture can build when driven by knowledge and a relentless focus on trade. Its 15th century existence made it a bridge between the ancient world of the pharaohs and the medieval world of the caliphs. And though its light has been extinguished for half a millennium, its ghost still stands watch over the waves, a silent testament to the ingenuity of a world long gone. In the bustling port of Alexandria, merchant ships filled with exotic goods mingled with fishermen, hauling in the day's catch. Each vessel, from sprawling trade galleys to nimble fishing boats, became ensnared in the city's vibrant life, their crews and cargoes promising riches and opportunity. Among the crowd, sailors exchanged tales of the towering Pharos, its beacon guiding every return, while onlookers marveled at the extraordinary structure that seemed to reach for the sky. The allure of Alexandria grew, drawn by the hope that every journey would lead them back, our lives intertwined with the light that shone from its summit. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the bustling docks, the fiery glow of the Pharos ignited the night sky. It stood like a sentinel, its guiding light piercing the darkness, reflecting the ambition that drove the heart of Alexandria. Sailors, weary from their travels, found solace in its radiance, for it was not merely a lighthouse, but a symbol of their hopes and dreams, a promise that no matter how turbulent the journey, a safe haven awaited them just beyond the waves. But even with its steadfast light, the Pharos faced the whim of nature and time. As storms raged and waves crashed against its marble facade, whispers of its vulnerability began to circulate among the sailors and merchants. Tales of its grandeur morphed into cautionary legends, warning future generations of the impermanence that even the greatest creations must eventually face. Despite the growing fears, the unwavering gaze of the lighthouse remained, a reminder of the resilience of human ingenuity and spirit, shining brightly through the annals of history. As the years rolled on, the essence of the Pharos continued to inspire countless generations, igniting imaginations with the tales of kings, sea monsters, and lost treasures beneath the waves. Amidst the waves of admiration, the echoes of whispers soon grew louder, recounting not just the successes, but the vulnerabilities of the great Pharos. Storm clouds gathered on the horizon, bringing with them the inevitable trials that nature would unleash upon the lighthouse. Sailors huddled together in ragged taverns, clinging to their mugs of wine as they spun tales of storms that lashed against the mighty structure, threatening its crafted beauty. Legends spoke of ships swallowed whole by treacherous swells, their crews yearning for the guiding light that flickered defiantly through the tumult. Yet each storm passed, and the Pharos remained steadfast, embodying the spirit of resilience and perseverance in a world ebbing with uncertainties. It became a testament to both human ambition and the inevitable reality of nature's might, destined to weather untold challenges in the centuries to come. As time wore on, the tales of the Pharos evolved, becoming woven into the very fabric of Alexandria's identity. The lighthouse transcended its function as a navigational aid, morphing into a symbol of safety for the sailors who sailed through darkened waters, each flickering beam reminiscent of hope shining against despair. Merchants began to attribute their fortunes to the watchful eye of the Pharos, its unwavering glow a source of inspiration for prospering enterprises. Artists captured its likeness in sculptures and paintings, imbuing it with an aura of grandeur, while philosophers mused over its engineering brilliance, eager to unlock the secrets of its construction. The lighthouse stood not just as a beacon for mariners, but as an emblem of a civilization that dared to dream beyond itself, inspiring legions through the ages, even as the winds of change threatened the very shores it honored. The tales of the Pharos were not without their adversities, as scholars and sailors alike began to recount the tales of fleeting grandeur and encroaching decay. An unsettling awareness began to spread among the populace, whispering of the inevitable passage of time that could erode even the most formidable of monuments. Discussions turned towards the realm of the supernatural, as superstitions arose among the crews about the lighthouse's potential fall, hinting that the gods themselves might test its limits. Yet, fortified by the determination of the people, the Pharos continued to shine brightly, captivating all who navigated the tumultuous seas, its legacy growing. Amidst these theories, Alexandria thrived, drawing visitors enchanted not only by the prosperity of its trade, but also by the enduring visibility of its glorious lighthouse. With each new arrival, the stories intensified, highlighting both the courage and folly of those who dared to approach the perilous shores, forever intertwined with the mighty lighthouse that symbolized their shared destiny. As the decades rolled into centuries, the firmament of myths surrounding the Pharos dimmed not. It shone brighter across the ages, intertwining with the very essence of Alexandria. Each tale spun in hushed tones at dusk, echoed ambitions of brilliant minds who dared to shape the luminous beacon, striving to understand the secrets of light itself. Scholars, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, pored over ancient texts in the Library of Alexandria, seeking the wisdom that had built this engineering marvel. Each scroll whispered insights into mathematics and physical laws, guiding future generations who would walk in the shadow of the great lighthouse. Yet, as they sought this knowledge, they could not shake the ominous predictions that danced on the lips of seers, warnings of an impending decline, fragile as the light that struggled against the enveloping dark of night. As the echoing tales of the Pharos intertwined with the collective memory of Alexandria, a mood of unease began to permeate the city's vibrant fabric. Scholars and common folk alike found themselves haunted by omens and dreams of the lighthouse's fate, pondering what would occur when the brilliance of its guiding light flickered and faded. Merchants whispered to one another, in shadowy corners, about the loss of fortunes should the lighthouse falter, while sailors grew apprehensive, their hearts heavy with thoughts of the storms that could snuff out its flame. Yet, rather than succumbing to despair, the resilient Alexandrians began to rally, crafting fresher narratives of hope to bolster their spirits against the winds of change. They shared stories of the lighthouse enduring hardships, of the strength that surged through their community, much like the steady beam that cut through the night, vowing that together they would protect this precious symbol of their enduring legacy. Out of the shadows of uncertainty emerged a renewed determination among the people of Alexandria, igniting a fire within their collective spirit. The merchants, united by fear, yet emboldened by hope, commenced the creation of strategies to safeguard their beloved lighthouse, recognizing its crucial role in their livelihoods. Fishermen gathered tales from seasoned navigators, comparing traditional practices with innovative techniques to ensure safe passage through increasingly perilous waters, all while the Pharos loomed majestically in the background, a reminder of their shared journey through flux. As the sun cast its first golden rays over the waking city, the community's resolve solidified. Each soul understood that the beacon must not only survive, but thrive amidst the inevitable battles with nature, time, and fate itself. As the years turned to centuries, the heartbeat of Alexandria pulsed with stories of the Pharos, both illuminating and shadowed by the spectre of destiny. Scholars debated fiercely in grand halls, their voices rising and falling like the tide, grappling with the concept of impermanence amid their admiration for the monumental lighthouse. The interplay of light and dark echoed the timeless struggle between hope and despair, a dance mirrored in the faces of all those who gazed upon the towering edifice. Their minds were ignited by questions of fate. Would the relentless forces of nature eventually extinguish the guiding flame? Or would the legacy of the Pharos endure, standing resolute like the resolve of its people? The answers lay tangled in the winds that swept across the sea, whispering of both comfort and caution to those who dared dream in its shadow. In its final days, whispers of the Pharos' fate drifted through Alexandria like a chilling breeze, as the wisdom of the ancients warned of an impending collapse. Citizens began to gather at the docks, their faces etched with concern, gazing at the lighthouse that had once stood unwavering against the trials of time. Glancing apprehensively at the horizon, sailors exchanged tales of the unsettling tremors felt beneath their feet, tales of earth and sea conspiring against their beloved monument. Yet, they clung to the belief that the spirit of the Pharos, fortified by their hopes and dreams, could withstand the onslaught of nature, rallying together to illuminate the path forward through an uncertain future. As the 8th century approached, the winds of change began to howl, bringing with them ominous signs that whispered of fate's tightening grip on the lighthouse. The Alexandrians, long accustomed to relying on the steadfast Pharos, exchanged worried glances, drawing closer together as rumors of tremors began to circulate through the streets. Local scholars, once preoccupied with the marvel of its engineering, now studied the Earth's movements with growing apprehension, their scholarly pursuits evolving into frantic attempts to decipher the alarming prophecies whispered throughout the city. The glimmer of the Pharos continued to shine, yet shadows crept closer, enveloping the lives of those who sought solace in its illuminating embrace, heralding the unfurling of a story that would alter their beloved city forever. As the tremors grew stronger, whispers turned into urgent discussions among the scholars and citizens of Alexandria, who felt the ground beneath them shift. They gathered in the shadow of the towering Pharos, exchanging theories on the source of the seismic unrest, with some suggesting that the gods were displeased. Despite their fears, they found themselves united in hope, drawn together by the lighthouse's symbolic flame that flickered defiantly against the encroaching darkness. With the final bricks of the Pharos removed, a poignant silence enveloped Alexandria, marking the end of an age. Yet the spirit of the lighthouse still thrived in the memories of those who once gazed upon its majesty, continuing to inspire future generations. It remained a testament to the enduring legacy of human ingenuity and ambition, forever cherished in the heart of a city that had risen and transformed through the tides of time.